namaskrityam naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayam udiraye nasta prayesu habadresu nityam bhagavatam sevaya bhagavate uttamasloke bhaktir bhavati naistakhe. Before reciting the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is very meant of concourse, one should offer respectful obeisances unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead Narayana, unto Nara Narayana Rishi, the supermost human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and unto Srila Vyasadeva, the author. By regular attendance in classes on Srimad Bhagavatam and by rendering of service unto the pure devotees of the Lord, all that is troublesome to the heart is almost completely destroyed, and loving service unto the Personality of Godhead, whose praise with transcendental song is established as an irrevocable fact. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 5, Chapter 14, Text 27, chapter entitled The Forest of Enjoyment. Advani hamusmin ima upasargas. Is the verse there or?
I think it's 28.
28?
And it's prose, the verse, so you can just read the verse, not repeat.
Which one? Oh, 28. Kwapi deva mayaya sriya bhuja lato pagoda praksana viveksha vigyano yadvihara graham pahukula hridayas tat asraya vasakta sutha tuthe kalatra basita valoka vichesati prata hridaya atmanam ajitatma pare nidhetamasi prahinuti. Kwapi, somewhere, deva mayaya, by the influence of the illusory energy, Sriya, in the form of one's girlfriend or wife, Bhujalata, by beautiful arms, which are compared to tender creepers in the forest. Upaguda, being deeply embarrassed. Praskana, lost. Viveka, all intelligence. Vijnana, scientific knowledge. Yad vihara, for the enjoyment of the wife. Graharamba, to find a house or apartment. Akula hridaya, whose heart becomes engrossed. Third, of that house. Asraya havasakta, who are under the shelter. Sutta, of sons. Duhitir, of daughters. Kalatra, of the wife. Basita avaloka, by the conversation and by their beautiful glances. Vichestita, by activities. Aparita hridaya, whose consciousness is taken away. Atmanam, himself. Ajita, uncontrolled. Atma, whose self. Apare, in unlimited. Ande, blind darkness. Tamasi, in hellish life. Prahinoti, he hurls. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Translation. Sometimes the conditioned soul is attracted by illusion, personified his wife or girlfriend, and becomes eager to be embraced by a woman. Thus he loses his intelligence as well as knowledge of his life's goal. At that time, no longer attempting spiritual cultivation, he becomes overly attached to his wife or girlfriend and tries to provide her with a suitable apartment. Again, he becomes very busy under the shelter of that home and is captivated by the talks, glances and activities of his wife and children. In this way, he loses his Krishna consciousness and throws himself in the dense darkness of material existence. Purport. When the conditioned soul is embraced by his beloved wife, he forgets everything about Krishna consciousness. The more he becomes attached to his wife, the more he becomes implicated in family life. One Bengali poet, Bankim Chandra, says that the eyes of the lover, the beloved, is always very beautiful, even though ugly. This attraction is called Deva Maya. The attraction between man and woman is the cause of bondage for both. Actually, both belongs to the Para Prakriti, the superior energy of the Lord, but both are actually Prakriti female. However, because both want to enjoy one another, they are sometimes described as Purusha male, and actually neither is Purusha, but both can be superficially described as Purusha. As soon as man and woman are united, they become attached to home, hut and land, friendship and money. In this way, they are both entrapped in material existence. The word Bhujalata Upaguda, meaning being embraced by beautiful arms which are compared to creepers, describe the way the conditioned soul is bound within the material world. The product of sex life, sons and daughters, certainly follow. This is the way of material existence. Om Magyana Timirandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chaksoranmalita Mena Tasmai Sri Guruve Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manobhisam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Gurun Sri Yutapada Kamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavam Cha Sri Rupam Sangrajatam Sahagano Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sujivam Sadvaitam Savadotam Parijana Saidam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Visakan Vitam Sam. He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopisa Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrisabhano Sude Devi Pranamami Aripriye Vanchakalpatrubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evecha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Vande Nantadbhutaiswaryam Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhum Nichopyat Prasadat Bhakti Sastra Pravartakam Kwapi Deva Maya Yasriya Bhujo Lato Pagoda Praksna Viveksha Vigyano Yad Bihara Graharam Bakula Hridayastad Asraya Vasakta Sutadhutir Kalatra Basita Valoka Vichestati Pahrita Ridhaya Atmanam Ajitat Mapare Nade Tamasi Prahinoti. Sometimes the conditioned soul is attracted by illusion personified as wife or girlfriend and become eager to be embraced by a woman. Thus he loses his intelligence as well as knowledge of life's goal at that time. No longer attempting spiritual cultivation, he becomes overly attached to his wife or girlfriend and tries to provide her with a suitable apartment. Again, he becomes very busy under the shelter of that home and is captivated by the talks, glances and activities of his wife and girlfriend. In this way, he loses his Krishna consciousness and throws himself in the dense darkness of material existence. So we are very glad to be here today by the mercy of His Divine Grace. A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, we have got this great opportunity today to come together in the association of the devotees to hear some important subject matter regards to Krishna consciousness, which is the ultimate solution to the problem of life. Generally, by reading this kind of verses, we may think that the women are Maya, and we may also think the men are Maya, or somebody may think the wealth in the world is Maya, or the home and job and everything else is Maya. But actually, according to the essence of the teaching of Krishna consciousness is that nothing of these things are Maya in this world. It's all creation of Krishna. If you can see Krishna through every of these things, if you can see Krishna in a woman, if you can see Krishna in a man, and if you can see Krishna in your wealth, your house, and children, in everything, that makes a person to become Krishna consciousness. Actually, Maya means Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Krishna boli se jiva anadhir bahir mukha ateva maya tare deha samsara dukha. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says forgetfulness of Krishna is the only thing is Maya in this world. In the chapter 7, text 11 of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna explains Balam Balavatam Chaham Kamaraga Vivarjita Dharma Viroda Bhutesu Kamosmi Bharata Sabha, that the strength of the human being are also Krishna, and the desire of the living beings to enjoy in this world is also coming from Krishna. So Krishna says there is nothing wrong for a man to meet a woman, nothing wrong indulging in some sort of bodily demands are there. And nothing wrong about working and earning money or anything in this world. Only the wrong is that when a person go away from the principle of religion, if everything is done according to the law of Krishna consciousness, just like in this country, there is a law, there's a constitution to be followed. So when we are working and earning money and building up our material ambition, if we are doing it according to the law of this country, according to the constitution of this country, then nothing is wrong about gaining anything in this country, but in the name of development of our selfish interest, if we break the law and try to do anything else, that considered to be a criminal activities in this country. The similar way, devotees should understand nothing is to be rejected here, nothing is to be accepted unless everything can be connected in Krishna consciousness. There are only two principles in Krishna consciousness. Smartavyam satatam Vishnu vismartavyam na jatuje. That the two principles are only been given for the devotees of the Lord. One is to always remember Krishna. Another one is that never forget Krishna. These are the only two principles of Krishna consciousness. So if your married life can make you to become Krishna conscious, you should get married. If you think your married life is quite difficult, it's not going to be helping you to progress in Krishna consciousness, if you don't have that kind of capability to take care of your wife, to take care of your children, to give up your own independence, nature, to adjust to the nature of the another mind, to compromise some of your own principle of life, if a person is not able to do that, and he should not go into the marriage life, understanding that marriage is coming together of two minds, two persons, is not by one person alone. In this way, if somebody is capable, in the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 4, text 26, Krishna explains, Strotra Indrayani Anye Samyak Magne Sujuvati Sabdadin Visayan Anya Indrayakna Sujuvati. Krishna explains there are not much different between a brahmacharya life and the grihastha life. The brahmachari, they give themselves to Krishna. Whereas the grihastha, they give the object of the senses, they give themselves, they give their wife, they give the children, they give the home, they give everything in connection to Krishna consciousness. Because generally brahmachari do not accumulate anything in this world in the form of a family or in the form of a wealth or property. So for that reason, brahmachari is meant to give their body, their mind and their speech into Krishna consciousness. Whereas the grihastha family men have accumulated some wealth for themselves, like here Prabhupada says, apartment, wife, children and so on. So they are recommended to connect all the object of the senses into Krishna consciousness. In this way, in the chapter 4, text 30, Krishna says, Sarve pyati yagya vidur yagya sapita khalmasa yagya sistamrta bhojo yanti brahma sanatanam. The way Krishna says, it doesn't matter whether one is a brahmachari or grihastha, whether one is doing a very great austerity of reading the scriptures, or doing some sort of a meditation, whatever a person performs, if he knows the purpose of what he is doing, if he knows the meaning of what he is doing, he said, Yanti Brahma Sanatanam, finally he also go to the Sanatan, to the eternal abode of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So it doesn't matter whether you are married or not married, doesn't matter whether you got a big money or small money, doesn't matter you're moving around like an ordinary human being like others in this world. Importantly, what is going on in your mind is very, very important. What is your aim? What is your goal? What is the purpose of whatever we are doing in our life? That ultimately brings in the reaction, either good or bad. It comes according to the understanding of the purpose of what we are doing in our life. If you are getting married to progress in Krishna consciousness, that is very good purpose, that is recommended. But if you are getting married simply for sense enjoyment, for the manipulation, for the reason of dominating of other people, then that reason, that consciousness is not very proper. So in this way, by understanding the purpose of whatever we are doing, And what is the purpose of human life has been mentioned in the chapter 5, text 11 of Bhagavad Gita. Kayena manasa buddhaya kevaler indriya rapi yoginam karma tesu sangatya vapa siddhaye. That he says that only purpose of human life, the devotee only work for the purification of their mind, purification of their speech, and purification of their body. So in this way, different ashramam has been given. All this ashramam is meant for purification of human form of life. Just like a person becomes a brahmachari, he is recommended to stay in the brahmachari ashramam, so that the ashramam has got certain rules. By abiding these rules, he is able to control his mind and senses, is able to control his behavior, his character, is able to progress in Krishna consciousness. Because the ashramam is there, and many devotees, the brahmacharis, are staying there, and they help each other to progress in Krishna consciousness. Similar way, a married man, when he wants to progress in Krishna consciousness, and he get married, he stay outside of the temple, and his house become an ashramam, where he also going through the purification in the house. Here, the leaders of the ashramam try to correct us in every situation in the brahmachari ashram. In the house, maybe your wife may correct you. If you are too independently moving around, you are not really focusing into the progressive way of family life, and you are not very disciplined in your life, your family will your wife will correct you. When you are a bachelor, you may hang around, up to the time you like to be hanging around. But then you come back late in a brahmachari, in a bachelor life, nobody can question anything. But in a married life, you go out and don't come back in time, and your wife will correct you, why you're coming back so late, what is going on here. And if you don't listen to your wife, and your children will correct you in a different way. So in a way that the family environment try to correct you and put you into the right direction. Here the brahmachari surrounding will try to correct you and put you into the right direction. In this way, a devotee's life, whether brahmachari or grihastha, is nothing different. Only different is that they stays in a different ashram, but their goal is only the same, only one thing: Krishna consciousness. When Krishna went to Kamyaka forest, he met Arjuna there, and Krishna was very angry with Duryodhan, that Duryodhan was the main reason for the Pandavas to be exiled in forest, and Krishna told Arjuna that he wants to go and kill the Duryodhan, and Arjuna pacified Krishna. And at that moment, Krishna told Arjuna, there is no difference between you and me. Anybody who is praising you, actually they are praising me. Anybody who are praising me, they are actually praising you. Anybody who is blaspheming you, actually they are blaspheming me. He said, my dear Arjun, there is no difference between you and me, because our goal is the same. Krishna said, I came to the world to establish the principle of dharma, religion. And you have come to the forest also to establish the principle of religion. In this way, your goal is dharma and my goal is dharma. That is why there is no difference between you and me. So either brahmachari life or grihastha life, whatever the life we are going through, if our goal of our life is only to assist Krishna in his work of establishing the path of dharma, and we all are situated in the same journey of Krishna consciousness, the moment our purpose, our reason, our ambition become more selfish interest, then our direction become two different ways. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 29, Text 8, been explained there. Abhisandaya yoyim sam dambam matsaryam evava sambrahme bina drigbhavam Maya kuryase tamasa. A devotee who is in the tamasa, in a mode of ignorance, and he behaves very violently. He is a violent devotee. He may be initiated, he may be staying for 10 years, 20 years, but he may be very violent towards his wife, or his wife may be very violent towards her husband. So in this way, they're violent. Either they're violent through their mind, or violent through their speech, or violence through their physical body. Abhisandaya yoyim sam. These are low-class devotees. They're very violent devotees. Dambam, they are very egoistic devotees. They're too much proud about their progress of Krishna consciousness. Matsarya, unnecessarily they become envious of other devotees. And Sambrahma, easily they become angry in their life. They are not able to control the anger. And they become separatists. Separatists means they got other interests than Krishna consciousness. As Rupa Goswami says, Anukulyena Krishnena Usilena Bhakti Ruttamam. That a real devotional service is that Anukulya, that favorably you do devotional service according to the requirement of Krishna himself. Like a Kamsa was also thinking of Krishna, but is not very favorable, very unfavorable. For that reason, Krishna has to kill Kamsa. Even Kamsa at every moment is thinking about Krishna. So in this way, Krishna consciousness is very wonderfully been given to us so that we can purify our life, and step by step we can make very good progress. So importantly, we must understand it's nothing about what we are doing in our life externally. Whether we are going to work or not going to work, whether we are married or not married, whatever, is nothing to do with about all those things. Very importantly, whether are we following the principle of religion being brought by Krishna himself. There are so many religions in the world today, so many different organizations, but everywhere people are fighting. Every religion they are fighting. Because people do not take the principle, the knowledge brought by the Lord himself. People merely externally accept the religion, but they internally don't follow the instruction brought by the religion. Just like somebody accepts to go to the schools, but they are not, taking the knowledge been given by the teacher in the schools. So how is going to make progress? Similar way, only way to achieve a goal of life is that we must understand what Krishna really, the reason why Krishna came to the world. Sometimes we talk very big philosophy of Krishna consciousness. We praise about so many things about deities, the way of deity dressing and everything. But we neglect the very words Krishna wants us to follow. So in this way, while glorifying everything else, we are not making that kind of progress, because importantly we should be following what Krishna wants us to follow. When we are not following these things, then we got a lot of other difficulties, lot of argument and fight and differences among us, because we have forgotten what Krishna really wants us to do. So there, in the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 7, Chapter 11, Text 2, Yudhishthira Maharaj inquired from Narada Muni, Bhagavan Srotam Michami Nirnam Dharmam Sanatanam Varnashrama Chara Yuktam Yatpuman Vindate Param. Yudhishthira Maharaj inquired from Narada Muni, kindly tell me the principle of religion which will help the human being to achieve the goal of life. And also Yudhishthira Maharaj inquired, what is that varnashram, what is that social order and the spiritual order been given for the ultimate benefit of the human being. And for that, Narada Muni replied in the Canto 7, Chapter 11, Text 5, Nadva Bhagavato Rajan Lokanam Dharmam Setave Vakshayasi Sanatana Dharmam Narayana Mukham Chritam. So our Krishna consciousness, we don't call it a Hindu religion. We call it a Sanatana Dharma. Sanatana means eternal. We are being the part and parcel of Krishna. We are eternal. Our soul is eternal. So there are eternal activities been given for the living entity's ultimate benefit. So Narada Muni told Yudhishthira Maharaj, I personally, Narayana, the Supreme Lord has personally told me about the principle of religion one should follow. He says that Nirnam Ayam Paro Dharma Sarvatmanayena Sadhyati Trimsa Lakshanavan Rajan Sarvatmayena Supasiddhati. Trimsa Lakshanavan Raja means Narada Muni said there are 30 principles the human being should follow. It's not we are putting a tilak, we are putting a Vaishnava dressing. It's not we are talking the language of the devotees. It's importantly, are we behaving the way Krishna wants us to behave? If you really wanted to be uplifted, if you really wanted to be established in Krishna consciousness, if you really wanted to be peace and happy in our life, either in the brahmachari ashram or grihastha ashram, we have to check whether are we following the 30 principle of religion is given to us. And now Narada Muni explains the 30 principles. Satyam, Daya, Tapa, Saucham, Titikseksha, Samodhamma, Ahimsa, Brahmacharyam, Cha, Tyaga, Swadhyayam, Arjavam, Santosam, Samadrikseva, Grammeyo Paramam Sane, Nirnam Viparye Yaksha, Maunam Atma Vinigraha, Annadayo Samvibhago, Bhutebhyo Cha Yada Artha, Tesvadma Devata Buddhi, Sutaram Nirsuphandava, Sravanam Kirtanam Chasya, Smaranam Mahatam Gane, Sevacha Vanaste Dasyam, Sakyam Atmam Samarpanam. And today, if you all got some time, please refer to the Canto 7, Chapter 11, Text 8 to 12. Very important information the Lord is bringing, because sometimes we are seeing there are devotees who are very unsettled in Krishna consciousness. They are very restless. Even after 20 years, 30 years, there are devotees who are very restless. There are devotees who are too independent. There are devotees who are too dominating, try to dominate others. There are devotees who are trying to argue and fight in the environment of Krishna consciousness. There are devotees who are not very satisfied of Krishna consciousness. They blame the organization, they blame the GBC, they blame the Guru and everybody else, but they think they are doing all right in their life. But actually there is nothing wrong with the organization. Either Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's body has become this ISKCON organization. When Prabhupada was asked by the reporter, what happens to your organization? Who will maintain your organization after your departure? Prabhupada said none of them are qualified to maintain this organization. Krishna personally will maintain the organization. He said this is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's organization. It's a spiritual organization. So there is nothing wrong about the organization, nothing wrong about the GBC or gurus or anything. It's all to do about our own development of Krishna consciousness, because we are not taking it serious of Krishna consciousness. Externally we try to do everything, though like it's a ritual practices, that we come and sit in the Bhagavatam, we come for Mangalarti or Sara devotee only come for the weekends program. There are devotees who come for the festivals only. So there are festival devotees, there are weekend devotees, there are full-time devotees. All kinds of devotees are around, doesn't matter. Importantly, do we follow what Krishna says? So here Narada Muni says there are 30 principles been given for the ultimate goal of human life. Anybody follows these 30 principles, they satisfy the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He said, number one, the devotee should be very truthful in their life. Number two, they should be very kind to other living beings. Number three, they should be ready to perform the austerity. Austerity means something you may like, but it may not go well in Krishna consciousness. So that has to be given up. Number four, that a devotee should be very clean inside and outside. Don't keep something inside and talk something else outside. And number five is tolerant. Number six is to try to understand between good and bad of life. Number seven, living entity should try to control his mind. Number eight is to try to control his senses. Number nine, he should become free from any kinds of violence. Number 10, he should become free from false ego. And number 11, he should be practicing celibacy life. Number 12, he should give some charity. And number 13, he should be reading the scriptures. Number 14, he should be very satisfied about life. And number 15, that he should be doing some service for the other devotees. Number 16, he should become detached from all the materialistic way of life. Number 17, he should not waste his time. Number 18, he should be very silent. Means when there is required to speak, you speak. When there is no required, you don't speak. It's not because we got some extra time, we are free, we can go around and bit of talking here and there. Ultimately, that will bring a problem in your life. So number 18, devotee should be very silent. Number 19, a living entity should be able to understand the difference between the body and soul. And number 18, the devotee should do some prasadam distribution, food distribution. And number 21, 18, 19, 20, 21, that the devotee, the living entity should understand they are not a demon, they are divine, they are part and parcel of Krishna. They should not behave like a demoniac way. Always they must understand I'm a part and parcel of Krishna. Just like Krishna is divine, I'm also divine. So in the 21, they should understand they are divine. 22, they should spare some time to hear the message of Krishna. 23, they should also chant the holy name, glorify Krishna. 24, they should remember about the Krishna consciousness. And 25, they should try to offer obeisances when come into the presence of Krishna. And 26, they should be servant of Krishna, do a menial service in the temple, sweeping the floor, mopping the floor, washing the pots. And number 27, they should do some puja for Krishna. 28, they should be servant of Krishna. 29, they should be a friend of Krishna. And 30, they should able to give themselves to Krishna. So Narada Muni said these are the 30 principles been given for the human being to achieve the human goal of life. By practicing these 30 principles of religion, Narada Muni says, one, easily please Lord Krishna, satisfy Lord Krishna. Otherwise, being a devotee, we don't follow the principle of this religion. However, we try to pose ourselves externally that we are very great devotee, we are very advanced devotee, we are the most senior devotee. None of this thing will help you to reach to Krishna consciousness unless you bring the changes in your life. The changes has to take place in our own life before we try to teach others in this world. Krishna said in the Bhagavad Gita, Ye samprasaja bhoga dukkha yoniya evate adiyantavattu kaunteya natesu ramate buddha. In the chapter 5, text 22, Krishna says, an intelligent person never take part in the source of miseries which is arising due to the sensual pleasure of this world. He never take part into the material pleasure because he understands the material pleasure has got a beginning, it has got an end. You are pursuing to reach some happiness in your life, but that happiness has got a beginning, the happiness has also got an end. So the devotees are not interested in something which come for temporarily and which been taken away from you, ultimately. Like Prabhupada says, the material world in the presently you may think that you are making some development, some progress, but ultimately whatever development, progress you have made in your life will be taken away from you. You may be very well educated. At the time of death, all your education, knowledge will be taken away. You must be very wealthy man, but at the time of death, your wealth will be taken away. So ultimately, Prabhupada says there is only loss in the material world. So devotees are not interested in something which is temporary, that is been given to you and will be taken away from you at any time. The devotees are not interested. And for that reason, Krishna told Arjuna, Saknoti ai praksam, he said, Saknoti aiva yasodam praksariram vimukshanam kama loba, kama krodha mahabayo, sayukti sasukhi nara. In the chapter 5, text 23, Krishna says that an intelligent person, he tried to tolerate the pushing of the senses in his life. He tried to tolerate the karma, the material desires. He tried to tolerate the anger. In this way, sayukti means he tolerate. And sukhi, in this way, by that toleration, he becomes very happy in his life. In the chapter 5, text 24, Krishna says, Yontar sukhantar arama tadantar jojir eva vasa yogi brahma nirvanam. Brahma bhutadi gacchati. Krishna says, an intelligent person, he sees everything inside him. Yontar sukhantar, sukha means happiness. He does not require another person to make him happy. Why a self-realized person, he is not thinking about marrying, because he doesn't want another person to make him happy. Why he doesn't really have a big idea, big plan that I have to buy a big car, big house? Because he understands this big house, big car, externally, nothing is required to make me happy. The happiness is within me. And Krishna has installed all the Sthayi Bhava, the permanent emotion, the permanent happiness. Krishna has installed within my own heart. And by the process of Krishna consciousness, I enjoy everything within. That is why a self-realized person is not carried away anything from outside, because he don't require anything from outside to make him happy and peaceful in his life. And to come to that stage, one has to be properly connected to Krishna. In the chapter 2, text 66, Krishna says, Nasti buddhir ayuktaksya, na cha yuktaksya bhavana, na chaba vaita santir asantasya kuta sukham. There Krishna says that if a person is not connected into Krishna consciousness, that person will not have a spiritual intelligence. Without spiritual intelligence, he cannot have a steady mind. Without a steady mind, he cannot have a peace of mind. Without peace of mind, how is he going to have happiness? This is a question by Krishna to Arjuna. In order for us to become happy in our life, our mind must be very peaceful. In order for the peaceful life, your mind must be very steady. In order for the steady mind, the intelligence should be purified. It should be spiritual intelligence. It should be guided by the wisdom of our life. And to have that purified intelligence, we must be connected into Krishna consciousness. That is why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was walking and passing through a toll, they has to pay the toll there. And toll collector was asking Mahaprabhu to pay the toll. Mahaprabhu says, I don't have money to pay the toll. I'm a sannyasi. And the toll man said, that is not very good. Then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, anyway, nobody can do anything to me because my family members protects me. And one of the devotee beside Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he asked Mahaprabhu, you have taken sannyas. Where is the question of family life for you? Where is the question of your family members? You have renounced everything. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, he said, Satyam Mata Pita Jnanam. He says, Satyam Mata Pita Jnanam. Dharmo Bratra Dhaya Sakha Santi Patni Saya Putra. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said that Satyam, truthfulness, is my mother, sits in my heart. And knowledge is my father, sits in my heart. And Dharma Putra, the principle of Dharma, is my brother, sit in my heart. And kindness is my friend, sit in my heart. Peace is my wife, sits in my heart. And forgiveness is my son, sits in my heart. All the 6 family members are sitting in my heart. As long as they sit in my heart, nobody can do anything to me in this world. If nobody wanted to disturb you, if nobody wanted to put you into any kind of trouble, if nobody wants to dominate your life, and you have to bring in the 6 family members in your heart, what are they? Satyam, truthfulness will act like your own mother. Then the mother's duty, somewhere or other, she must protect the child. So the truthfulness must be always in our heart. And knowledge is the father. So the knowledge also should be there inside. And the principle of religion, we have mentioned 30 principles be given for the human life, that it should be also there as the brothers of our life. And the kindness, like the friends of our life. And peacefulness is like a wife of our life. And forgiveness is there like a children, like a son of our life. When you find peace and happiness inside yourself, you will see everything else is peace and happy in this world. The moment we are not very peaceful, we are not very happy, we will see the whole world is like, great disaster here. For that reason, the devotees are always connected in Krishna consciousness. Just like a man, he went to, a doctor because he had a high problem. The doctor told him, that I do not know what is the actual problem, not able to help you. Then he told him to go and see a holy man, that the holy man maybe can give you some blessing. So this man, old man, he went to a holy man. He told the holy man that I'm having some eye problem, can you help me? And the holy man said it's not very difficult. For next, 6 months, you only see the green color. Don't see any other color, and you'll be okay. So after, he went back to the house, he painted his house green, but, he was not able to complete the whole green of, paint of his house. So, partly he has painted green, partly just left it like that. He don't have the money to buy extra paint. And after 6 months, he went back to the holy man. The holy man asked him, so is everything okay with your eyes? He said, no, still I got the pain. So the holy man asked him, did you have been seeing the green color for the past 6 months? He said, I'm not able to see the whole thing green because, partly I painted green, partly I don't have money to paint green. And the doctor says, the holy man says, there is no required for you to have a lot of money to buy paint and paint the whole house green. He said, if you put a green glass for yourself, everything will be seen green. Yonta Sukanta, every individual change. Krishna consciousness is a powerful organization. It's a powerful method has been given. But we are not able to understand our own power. Because from the very beginning of our life, nobody have taught us that, you are, the walking, vocabulary. You are the walking, saint. Nobody taught us that, you are, able to achieve anything in your life because you are part and parcel of the Lord and you are empowered within yourself to achieve anything in your life. You are able to do that thing because, you got 78% of Krishna's, Shakti, the potency in yourself. We got 78%, just like the Brahma has got 78% of the potency. And Lord Shiva has got 84% of potency, Vishnu has got 94% of potency, Krishna has got 100% of potency of attributes. So we are able to achieve up to the 78% of our potency in our life, but we are not able to even to achieve 1% because we are disconnected from Krishna consciousness. The moment we are chanting the holy name of Krishna, just like we are sitting here, who have dreamed and who have thought that you will become a devotee. If anybody here seated, you have dreamt that that you will become a Hare Krishna, you will become a vegetarian, you will give up smoking and drinking, you are not interested into the way of the materialistic people way of life. In any of us, we thought any of this thing. We never thought of any of these things. You thought of that? when you are, eh? So you are born a devotee. Yes. So most of the people in this world, they're somewhere or other, they are not able to understand their potency. Because somewhere or other they were not able to connect themselves in Krishna consciousness or having the blessing of Krishna. In this way, an intelligent person do not go into the sensual pleasure of the world, because the five senses are also like a great enemy of the living being if they're not able to keep them under control. The Shastra says just like by hearing the deer, just by a beautiful sound vibration, a flute vibration, the ear of the deer become mesmerized. The deer is not able to move just by hearing the sound of the vibration of a flute. And when it's just absorbed into that sound, at that moment the hunter released the arrow and he killed the deer. So the ear become very dangerous if you are not able to control the ear. And the eye, just like some insects, when they see the light and fire, they think it's a food and they go near to the fire and light and they get burned and they die. But they're not able to control their eyes. Just like the bees, they buy fragrance, they go to different flowers, buy the smell of the flowers, and they go to take some, seed and try to enjoy a little bit of honey inside. And when they're not very careful, the flowers which are open, sometimes they close back again, and they stuck inside and they die. And the fourth is called the sensual pleasure of the tongue. Just like a fish, not able to control its tongue. And by the fisherman, throwing the hook, and then the fish, for the taste of the tongue, it dies. And finally, the elephant, by the sensual pleasure of the skin, the touch, they keep the female elephant to catch the male elephant. In this way, when the sensual pleasures, senses are not in control, then we go into a great trouble of life. Just like there was a bear was floating, in the river. And there were five, friends been walking, side of the river. And it's in the night, then, they saw that, one of the fellows saw that, something is floating on the river. So he thought maybe there's some treasure, somebody, throw some treasure is floating on the river. Suddenly one fellow jumped and then going to, take that, treasure from the river. And actually there was a bear who was sitting on the, wood of in the river. And the moment he extended his hand to take the treasure, he was thinking a treasure, and then the bear caught off his hand. So the friend been telling, he is telling the friend, oh, it's not a treasure, it's a bear, he has caught my hand. A friend said, let go the bear and come back. And the man said, I'm letting go my hand, but the bear is not letting go me. So the senses are very powerful. Even you wanted to let it go, but you won't let you go if you don't become very careful in Krishna consciousness. So the consciousness plays very important part in our life. Just like there was a man, Brahmana, he was staying in a village and he was, reciting Bhagavad Gita. He sit outside of his house, he recite Bhagavad Gita. On the opposite house, there was a prostitute is there, so there are men coming and going to the prostitute's house. And the Brahmana sitting there and then he reciting Bhagavad Gita and looking at the woman, the prostitute on the other side. Oh, how many people are coming and going, what kind of job she is doing. So he's reciting Bhagavad Gita, mind is thinking about the prostitute. On the other side, the prostitute sitting on the other side, she is hearing the Bhagavad Gita and she is crying to Krishna, please next life you make me a devotee, I can recite Bhagavad Gita, I can become devotee, please help me Krishna, Krishna helps me. So she is thinking about Krishna, this guy is thinking about the woman. And at one time, after some time, both also died at the same time. And then Yamadutas came for him, Vishnudutas came for her. The Vishnudutas, the servant of Vishnu, came to take her and go. Here the Yamadutas, the servant of Yamaraj, came to take the Brahmana and go. The Brahmana was, very upset. He said, there must be some mistake here. He told the Vishnuduta, you must be making a great mistake because I'm the one reciting Bhagavad Gita. The lady is the prostitute on the other side. And Vishnuduta said, no, it's not any mistake here. You've been reciting Bhagavad Gita, but you've been thinking about the other woman on the other side. The lady, being a prostitute, but she's a devotee of Krishna, is thinking about Krishna, repenting. So she's thinking of Krishna, you're thinking about, the lady. For that reason, he said, you have to take you and go. So in this way, Krishna said, Tasmat sarvesu kalesu mamanusmaran yudhyacha mayarpita manobuddhir mamiva syasi asamsayam. The Krishna says, Arjuna, always you perform your duty. With your intelligence and mind absorbed in me, surely you will come back to me. Abhyasa yoga yuktena chetasananya gamina paramam purusam divyam yati patanu chintayam. The chapter 8 text 8, Krishna says, this Krishna consciousness is very easy to follow. Abhyasa, by constant practice and no deviation here. When you don't deviate from the path of Krishna consciousness. Very simple and very easy. Prabhupada said devotees should do 4 things in their life. Number 1, they should take care of their health. Without having a good health, you cannot do anything in your life. So importantly, you take care of your health. Number 2, every day you chant Hare Krishna. Number 3, you do some worship, some puja for Krishna. Number 4, every day you read my book. So it's a very simple process been brought by Prabhupada, and understanding the difficulties, the living entities are going through. They may be very, ambitious. They may be very proud that, they are, they've got a good family. They've got a nice house and everything. But they don't understand everything in the material world is a punishment for them. You get married, there's a punishment. You don't get married, there's a punishment also. You have children, there's a punishment. You get money, all a punishment, because the material world is the prison house. In the prison, whatever you do in the prison, there are library in the prison, there are some prisoners that take care of the library. There are, different departments in the prison house. There are, the prisoners, they take care of different places. They've been put in charge into different places. Whether they are breaking the stone in the prison house, whether they are doing gardening, whether they are, taking care of the library, whatever, things you have got in the prison house, everything is punishment. So in the material world, you not only you work hard is a punishment. You got everything, whatever is there. You get a wife, it's a punishment. You get a husband, it's a punishment. You get a children, it's a punishment. You've been punished, in a way that, your consciousness has been taken away. Like Prabhupada said, towards your family, towards your children, towards your work and everything else. So everything in the material world, not to be very proud, that, I'm born in Switzerland, it's a punishment for you to born in Switzerland. You could have born in India where there are a lot of holy rivers, are there, Ganga, Yamuna, Kaveri, Jalangi, Saraswati. There are so many temples are there, so many holy places are there, so many holy men are there. The moment you go out a little bit, you can see a temple, you can see a holy man. People can remind you about the purpose of life. Not like here, the moment you go out, nothing is there to remind you about your real identity. Carry it away. Everything is about, wrong identification. And money. And they say money is honey. When somebody came to Prabhupada, three people, three men came to Prabhupada. So Prabhupada asked them, what is the goal of life? One fellow said, oh, Swamiji, money, wealth is everything. And Prabhupada asked the second fellow, what do you think? He said, health is everything. Prabhupada asked the third fellow, what do you think? He said, health and wealth is everything. So one fellow said health, one fellow said wealth, another fellow said health and wealth. Prabhupada said, you guys are fools, He says, soul is everything. Without having a soul in your life, without being alive, how are you going to enjoy your health? How are you going to enjoy your wealth? How are you going to enjoy your health and wealth? So they don't understand that the soul is everything in their life. It's a missing part of this part of the world. So in this way, we should not become very proud. Life is very temporary here. At every moment we are dying. Ayurarati vaipumsam udyan asyan chayao asan. Tasya ete satnito vata uttama sloka varti and the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 2, Chapter 3, Text 13. Very beautifully be explained that Ayurarati, by the rising of the sun and the setting of the sun, that one day lifespan has been taken away from you. We live for 100 years and we are breathing every day. One day we'll lose how many breathing in and out? We lose 23,040 breath we are losing a day. According to the Shastra, we breathe 1 minute, we breathe 16 times. And for 1 hour, we breathe 960 times. And for 1 day, we breathe 23,040 times, 1 day. And for 1 month, we breathe about 691,200 times. And for 1 year, we breathe 8,409,600 times. And for 100 years been given to us, we breathe, 840,960,000 times. Ayur, Arati, Vaipumsa. This is the only total amount been given to us. How much? 840,960,000 times we are breathing until our 100 years. And 1 day, from there we minus 23,040. 23,040 times minus 800, 40,960,000 times. If we are living for 100 years. If we are living for 50 years, will be how much? 420 million. On the other side, 96 is 3, is about, 48. So 420 million, 960,000 is 48,000, 480,000. If we are living for 50 years only, then maybe we have got 420 million, 80,000 breath. We only got that. And every day you see that minus. I've got in my bank balance 100,000. Today I withdraw 23,000. Only got balance this 1,000. And it become heart attack. Oh, it's reducing. So every moment we are dying. Eshaika nisvasita kala alavalambya jivanti loma vilaja jagadandanala. Vishnur mahansa eva yasya kala viseso govinda madi purusham. Tamaham bhajami. Lord Brahma says, when Vishnu is breathing out, you are coming out. When Vishnu is breathing in again, you go back. So we are living only for one breath of Lord Vishnu. One breath of Lord Vishnu, everything is coming here. So in this way, life is very short and temporary. And we have given a very beautiful position to become a devotee. Kindly make use of this position and carefully conduct your Krishna consciousness. Be in the association of devotees and chant the holy name. And you attain all the wonderful qualities of a Vaishnava. The 30 principle is very important. You will attain very easily, provided that you always remain in the association of the good devotees and chant Krishna's name helplessly. Don't think I'm the big, I know everything, Don't try to offend others, dominate others, not talk bad about others. So you cannot progress very nicely. So thank you so much for being here today. Any questions? Yeah.
So at the beginning of your speech, which was followed by a poem, so you were talking about like what Prabhu was saying, but it's like it's a very emphasizing on guys, like men should not be distracted by women. If a man marry a wife and a girlfriend, he's going to be distracted.
Yeah.
But in the poem, it was very genderless. So I wonder, like, is it his projection that he always used the pronoun of like a guys, or like if you look at into the original Sanskrit, the word like in Sanskrit is kind of genderless because also there are women at this age that
Yeah.
also find marriage
So
distracting.
spiritually there is no different. Like Prabhupada says, we call it a Purusa and Prakriti. Purusa is Krishna, Prakriti is, enjoyed by Krishna. Like a material nature is Prakriti. All of us, we are considered to be Prakriti because only Krishna is the enjoyer. Everybody else is enjoyed by Krishna. That is spiritual identification. Now, when materially we are moving around here, we have been given a kind of duty to help each other. So the man has got certain duty, the woman has got certain duty. The man's duty is that he has to go to a spiritual master, he has to learn the principle of dharma. And the woman, the wife duty is that to assist him to re-establish in the house. Everything externally, whatever external affair outside the house be taken care by the man, whatever inside the house is taken care by his wife. In this way there is a balance. It's not that both of them they're going to work and coming back. There is no time for them to practice Krishna consciousness. Whereas here the deities are in the house, and somebody has to cook and offer the food to them, and for the family members they should provide prasadam. The house should become like a temple, and all those things can be done by a wife by being in the house. A man, he goes out and bring the money. The wife, makes sure he utilize the money and everything to make the house, more Krishna conscious. In this way, that man has got certain duty in his life, and woman has got certain duty in his life. In this way, by balancing their duty, not that one person does everything. Just like in the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 1, text 39, Krishna, Arjuna told, Kula saya pranasyanti, kula dharma sanatana. A family has got a responsibility. What are the responsibility? Human being, we have got 5 depths in our life. We're indebted to the demigods, we're indebted to the forefathers, we're indebted to the rishis and gurus, we're indebted to the human being, and we are indebted to also to the animals. So because of these 5 depths in our life, we are taking birth again and dying, birth and death, like that. So only way that it can be solved in the Canto 11, chapter 5 and text 41 of Srimad Bhagavatam, Krishna says, Sukadeva Goswami said, Devarishi Bhutapta Nilniputrinam Nakinkaro Nayam Chandranisa Rajan Sarvat Manaya Saranam Saranyam Gato Mukundam Pariharitya Kartam. When a person surrenders to Krishna, he becomes free from the 5 kinds of depths. So to surrender to Krishna means that he worship Krishna in his house, by offering and food and all so on. In this way, the house become a temple. To do that thing, normally the women been given that duty so that because they are very soft in their nature. The women are very soft in their nature. And they are more easy to become a devotee because due to the soft nature. For that reason, they are not been given the activities outside, because to deal with outside it become more difficult than dealing inside. So for that reason that, here it says that generally a man's duty, he should go and see a spiritual master, learn the principle of religion, then he understand. He has given a beautiful wife, to help him to sustain, to maintain Krishna consciousness. Otherwise, if he doesn't understand that, the woman, wife been given to him to assist him in his life, otherwise he may manipulate, he may dominate, he may misuse the presence of the wife, because the woman and man, they've got a 2 different nature in themselves. In the Bhagavad Gita, in the chapter 10, text 34, Krishna says, Mritu sarva rascham udbhavacha bhavisyati kirte drisir srivishya. There Krishna says that the women, they got a beautiful quality in themselves. That, they are the formation. They are the principle of wealth. They are the principle of beauty. They are principle of a soft-spoken nature. They are principle of determination. So all these wonderful qualities are there. To utilize that quality to upgrade their life. For that reason, that the man has given a different duty and woman is given.
Yeah, but like that, thank you, but that really didn't answer my question. My question is like also like you said that the 31st thing that Krishna,
Look, slow, I can,
the devotees of Krishna,
Devote.
the 11, you said that they have to practice celibacy, okay? And then at the beginning of your speech, you were saying that the man should not be distracted, and a poem that was followed by a poet of India, he said that every person who does not see a marriage or like a relationship up to their capacity to follow the Krishna consciousness.
Yeah.
So if it's going to be a distraction, they're not supposed to follow that. So what I believe that every person has a masculine and feminine side, and in this nowadays, like you can't really expect to be having a provider and being a wife, a good wife of someone at home when we, in fact, ourselves can be a devotee, practice celibacy.
Okay, now celibacy must understand. Celibacy is that, you're controlling the 5 knowledge acquiring senses. It's not just a brahmachari or grihastha. Celibacy means you're able to control your ear, control the eyes and nose and tongue and the skin. You're able to control, then you are considered to be a person of, celibate. And now, when this knowledge is coming for, like what you're reading from Bhagavatam, it has been, spoken very, very long time ago, 155 trillion, 22 billion years ago, when was the first time the Veda, the knowledge been spoken to by Lord Brahma. Now Vyasadeva, he divided and then he brought it, to Bhagavad Gita becomes, it becomes the, the essence of the Vedas, called the Brahma Sutra. And Bhagavatam is the explanation for the Brahma Sutra. Now Prabhupada has opened an ashram even for the ladies. According to the Vedas, if you read, there was at any time there was an ashram, a brahmacharini ashram. Prabhupada have created a brahmachari ashram because now in Kali Yuga, the man is not able to go by the law of Krishna consciousness. They are meant to see that this wife has been given, she is the property of Radharani, been given to me to help me to become Krishna conscious. So being a property of Krishna and Radha, I should be able to see that I protect, I respect, I do everything best to make sure that they are happy and peaceful. Now because of Kali Yuga, that everything become very diluted. The man is not doing their duty properly. So now the women been given, opportunity to try to protect themselves because of the strong influence of Kali Yuga. Just like there was a story I've said, that there's a man, his wife and his mother was going on the boat ride. And the wife asked the husband, what happened if the boat capsized? They'll be drowning, and I don't know how to swim. Your mother don't know how to swim. Only you know how to swim. So whom you going to help first, your mother or me? So immediately he said, I will help my mother. Then the wife says, why? Because I've only got one mother. Like you, I can find many. And she got very upset with the answer. So after the holiday, she went back to the village. One of the friends in the village asked, how was your holiday? She said, I very regret marrying this man, because I jokingly asked him, what happens, the boat capsized, we'll be drowning, only you know how to swim. So who are you going to help first, your mother or me? Immediately he says, my mother will help, because he says he's only got one mother. And she said, in that case, he should have married his mother. I cook for him, I take care of him, I do everything for him. But when it comes to the danger, he said he only help his mother first, So I don't know what to do. Then the friend told her, don't worry, very simple, solution is there. You don't depend on your husband, you learn to swim, so you can swim and come out to the shore. So like that, Krishna consciousness is bring back again to your own independence into your life. because man have failed to perform their duty properly. Today every marriages, every situation, you see that everything become manipulation, domination. So many needs a protection of their life. So Prabhupada opened up for everybody. There was a time there was no requirement to do the thing because they were properly following. But there's a time we are going through Kali Yuga. There's a requirement that for ladies to to protect and take care of themselves. For that reason, Prabhupada has opened up brahmacharini ashram, so that they can be protected and they can move on with their life.
I don't know, like since the beginning of I remember I always wanted to do things on my own. I had this desire, this capacity,
Yeah.
and this visions that I want to do certain things. Like I don't want to be at home and someone
Yeah.
provides for me. If I wanted to do that, I would have done it two
Yeah.
times. So I
Rarely you see somebody, like yourself. Rarely you see somebody from the very beginning of their life, they're interested into the spirituality. Yeah.
certain things that I wanted to achieve in my life.
Yeah, so that is why Arjuna asked Krishna in the chapter 6, text 37, Ayat Tisradayopeta. Arjuna asked, what happened to somebody who is unsuccessful in Krishna consciousness? Are they lost in everything? And for that Krishna says in the chapter 6, text 40 onward, he said, Prapya Punya Kritan Lokam. A devotee who is unsuccessful in this life. Next life he is born in a devotee family or is born in an aristocratic family, and he will continue from where he is left. So the devotee asked Prabhupada that we are not, most of us were not born in a devotee family. We are not born in a very rich family, but how we got the opportunity to become a devotee? Prabhupada says, I created for you that. So according to your previous life karma, according to the Shastra, it says that if you have done 100 lifetime pious activities, that means 100 of lifetime, if you've done your life, very nicely, helping people, this and that, after 100 years of lifetime, you become a devotee, according to the Shastra. So somewhere or other, your previous life, somewhere or other, be connected, that you have done some wonderful, piety in your life. So by birth, you got this understanding that, that Krishna is my ultimate protection. I don't need anybody else around. So, but not everybody thinks the same way.
Yeah, but also I don't want to blame men they're not providing, when it's my personal choice. And another thing that you were saying about it, everything the last
No, the man's duty is to protect, the wife. The reason is that because the ladies, their heart is more soft, they got a different nature in their heart compared to the men. Because the ladies are giving birth to a child, their emotion is different from the man. That's why when a man dies, a lady knows how to take care of the child without a man, without the husband. But when the wife dies, the man do not know how to take care of the child because he don't have that kind of emotion in himself. For that reason that, it always says that, women should be protected because the emotion is not, is normal, the same like, they're very soft in nature. That is why Arjuna don't want to kill the people in the battlefield. He says, that will destroy the tradition of the family. The mother keeps the family together. You must understand this thing. When I joined Hare Krishna movement, my father was there, my mother was there. And my mother only gave me a call. Oh, where are you? Why you're not coming to the house, because it takes me, I travel around, maybe, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, I would have not seen her. And any Hindu festival, my mother will call, oh, please come to the house. Throughout my journey of Krishna consciousness, up to, 20 years at that time when my mother was alive, my father was alive, my father never called me at any time to ask my welfare, where are you, nothing. Only my mother calls me, how are you, where are you, please come, like that and all. And then, my mother is the only person, she kept the family together. So when my mother passed away first, my father was still alive. My mother passed away, I felt like I lost my family. And then after that, the Deepavali, a big festival came in our religion. My mother passed away already. The next, after a few months, the festival came, big festival for us, a Diwali festival. And my sister called me and told me, oh, I don't know what to do. I don't know where to go. Because that time my mother was there. They were going to my parents' house. But now my mother was not there ready. She said, where to go? I don't know where to go, what to do. So the woman, the mother keeps, the family together, not the men. For that reason that, the women should be, respected and protected and so on.
So number 26 and number 28, you said that for the 30th, for 30, things that devotees should do is to be a service of Krishna.
Satisfy. Krishna is satisfied by following the 30 principles of religion.
So number 26 and 28, they were the same thing. You said devotees should be of service of Krishna. Is it like a reason that it has been emphasized twice?
Devotee should be?
Sorry?
Devotee should be what?
At the service of Krishna.
Okay, number 24, okay, we'll start from number, 22, hearing. 23 is chanting. 24 is remembering. 25 is offering obeisances. And 26 is menial service, washing and cleaning and all. And 27 is the worship puja. And 28 is servitude, service attitude. And then 29 is friendship. And 30 is give your soul, give yourself to Krishna.
Okay. And then, sorry? Okay, sorry, one last question.
Yeah.
You said that we, like a devotees, they should distribute prashadam
Yeah.
outside, like to people, like giving food?
Yeah.
Or money is okay? Or like, do you have to cook and give like a homeless people?
Okay, now when you cook and give prasadam, you see now, when you do 4 things, then it becomes prasadam. A cook who's cooking, he should be conscious of Krishna when they're cooking. Now 25% become prasadam when they're conscious of Krishna, not 100% yet. Now another 25%, the person who is going to offer the prasadam, he must be conscious of Krishna while offering. Another 25% become prasadam. And a person who is serving the prasadam, he must conscious of Krishna while serving. It becomes 75%. A person who is taking the prasadam, he must conscious of Krishna. Then it becomes 100% of prasadam. So you cannot buy the food from outside and give because they are not conscious of Krishna while they are making the food. So importantly that the devotee, they cook, and then they go and give it to the people of outside. Because the devotee inside, they know they make in their own house, in the temple they come, they take some charnamrita, this and that. So it's important we are giving prasadam to the outsider so that their heart become more melted, more clear, more pure. When the heart is cleansing, become more soft, more easy for them to become a devotee. And the prasadam will make them, the chanting will make them, the devotee association will make them to become pure. Reading proper become, but out of everything, the karmi, they like the prasadam number 1 than anything else. You tell them to become a friend of devotee, they say, no, don't have time. Tell them to read Prabhupada books, don't have time, And try to chant Hare Krishna, don't have time. But giving prasadam, anybody like to take some nice food. So prasadam will do the tremendous, transformation in the life of other people. So prasadam distribution. The Prabhupada said, practically I made a lot of devotees by giving them prasadam. So prasadam will change them. So here, by giving prasadam, you're doing a great favor in Krishna consciousness. And prasadam not necessarily have to be rice, dal, chapati, this and that. It can be, simple cookies, it can be, anything. No problem. Okay, thank you so much for being here. Hare Krishna. Jai Srila Prabhupada ki Jai Nitai Gaura Pramanande. Jai Srila Prabhupada.